Fontaine open world boss gave us quite the trouble, but for this group of guaranteed characters it wasn't that difficult. Really time consuming, but that's all it takes. Now let's see how this team fare against the weekly boss of Fontaine. This is going to be a wild one. Let's go. Hello everyone, Tigris here, welcome back to my channel. This time, we're going to challenge Fontaine's weekly boss. In the last video, we challenged their open world boss and it wasn't that difficult. It was really time consuming, however. I took forever against some of the bosses. And trust me, it's just going to take even longer with the weeklies. As usual, I don't change the team for these challenges, so our members are going to be Xiangling, Barbara, Kea, and Noelle. So let's see how the weekly bosses hold up against them. Or rather, the other way around. Anyway, let's get this started. Starting off with the big whale itself, the all-devouring narwhal. Now, this boss isn't that much difficulty in the first phase. In fact, I want to get through the first phase as fast as possible, without using their burst. Because, as you guys know from the standard bender challenge, this boss main trouble is in the second phase. On my normal team, I would have just one-shot it. But, that's basically impossible here, because we don't do enough damage. Even with this team, if I don't get the burst back after the second phase, I don't think I get to even do much damage to the whale to begin with. By the way, I have a few very noisy neighbors at the moment, so if you hear any background sound, just ignore it. My room ain't 100% soundproof, and these people are really noisy. For this phase, if I have Lynette, it will be a walk in the park. But since I don't, we have to struggle with our normal damage, which is going to take a while, which is why I kept that burst. With that burst, I can at least do a huge chunk of the shield before it shield up. I mean before it ends. However, after I use that burst, now I have to regain it. Otherwise, I cannot do any damage to the whale. This boss honestly feels like a survival. As long as we survive, we can win. The problem is, it does huge amount of damage and without a healer, you are basically cooked. Luckily, we have Barbara. Honestly, throughout this entire challenge, save more stat, Barbara is definitely the MVP of this team. I won't say Noelle, but compared to Noelle, Barbara did more. She doesn't do enough damage, but without her, this team would have died over a long time ago. Xiangling and Kea's burst need to be really close to the enemy as well as Noelle, so that's just make us a sitting duck. That being said, this fight took over 15 minutes. Just this one boss fight. The knave didn't take as long, but it was a very long and lengthy fight. Did I came close to dying? I don't think so. I can remember. I'm editing it right now. But with Barbara around, with Noelle around, our damage is actually pretty decent, and while we're taking the shield down very slowly, it does go down. That's the important part. Do I wish I have Lynette? Yes. By the way, Lynette is the only character from Fontaine on the guaranteed character list. Therefore, the only one that can use Fulero or Osha against this boss. Since we don't have her, and I don't spin the wheel again to get her, so we're stuck with this. Luckily, I did manage to get the shield down, but with our damage, I don't think we can one-face the wheel. And it's not even all our bursts back yet. Though we have Xiangling and Kea, we should be fine. Kind of. I'm still trying to get Noelle burst back. Maybe, I can't remember. Did I? Yeah, I think I did. By the way, if I have gotten Traveler, I wouldn't have chosen Hydro. I'm sorry to the Hydro Traveler. Hydro Traveler is arguably the second worst element for the Traveler. Second only to Electro. Every other element of the Traveler is, in my opinion, better. If I had thrown the Traveler on the wheel, I would not have let myself change element. Just to add a bit of challenge to the word challenge. This team comp is already very tanky. Getting the Traveler and getting the chance to change a lot of elements would just make me feel I'm cheating through the challenge. So if I have gotten the Traveler, I will maybe spun a wheel and see which Traveler I will get, and that Traveler is going to stay the entire time. I am not going to change the element. That would be just cheating, and it would be too easy anyway. Who in the world want a challenge where the challenge is too easy? Anyway, back to phase 2. At least the shield is half down now. Half the time required to knock you down? Probably. Still very long? Yes, definitely, because we do not have our burst. I actually hate fighting this boss, at least without my main team. Is it really difficult? Not really. If you notice, the dodge pattern is very typical. The problem with this boss is how tanky is it, and how only Fontaine character can actually knock you down easily. If you remember right, my general team do not have a Fontaine character. But when Ali is swinging for 100,000 per hit, I do not need a Fontaine character to knock this wheel down in the first phase. For those who never watched my skirt pulling video, I gotta remind you that I was more worried for Ali to overkill the wheel than underkill the wheel. She was hitting the wheel without support for 100k per normal attack. Of course I'm worried. The wheel only have like 2 million HP. If she had swung too hard, it would have died and ruined my perfect pulling plan, which means I have to climb back onto the top of Dragon's Spine and start again. By the way, for those who are curious, yes, this phase can happen multiple times if you do not kill the wheel after the second phase is over. Even if you kill the second phase twice, there is always a chance that it could go back into the phase. It's a bit like Raiden, I guess. The only difference is, most teams should be able to finish it here. When I say most, I mean if you do enough damage, if you focus enough, it shouldn't be that much of trouble. Use level 1 characters, that will be a different topic, I guess. During this phase, the wheel stay up even longer than the first one, so you should have more time to hit it. Well, if you mess up twice, there's nothing I can really say about it. Come on guys, the HP is like one shiver, can you just finish it off? At least that's what I was thinking when I fight the boss. Too bad, I accidentally killed Kaya here again. I'm not doing a death counter for this team, at least for this video, because the number of deaths are so low. Maybe 1 or 2. Let's just say that Kaya died once, alright? Next up is our favorite father, the Knave. By the way, I tried to fight her with Ali once, that took forever. She has 70% pyro resistance. And I've seen many players try to fight her with Marvika. I say, why? Your Marvika do like 2 million damage, she is hitting for 200,000 here. Why are we fighting a boss with 80% resistance with a pyro character? That is dumb. But I guess people like a good challenge and some people do it for fun. This whole fight been the Knave bullying. With Barbara and Noel on the team, she is getting countered straight in the face. But for the charge attack, I do use Kaya because his charge attack is much faster than everyone else. Her mechanic is to apply a bond on you, and if you heal, it goes away. Problem is, Barbara does constant healing and Noel has her shield, that when it's up, she heals per hit. So like I said, this poor Knave is getting bullied straight in the face. I tried to use Zhangli charge attack there, that didn't work, we completely missed her. I'm not taking the risk. Kaya, all the charge attack is on you. By the way, this team actually looks really familiar to my new free-to-play team. I'm still trying to get Barbara. So right now it's the Traveler, Zhangling, Kaya, and Ningguang. Because I had Novel, but I feel like Ningguang does a lot of damage as a DPS. She is only temporarily, however. I'm still trying to get a 5-star DPS. Maybe Diluc or Deya. But for now, Ningguang is staying on as the main DPS for my free-to-play team. I was lucky to get Zhangli and Ningguang early. They were on the second Novel 10 pool. By the way, for the old players, now you get 20 pulls on the beginner banner. Remember the time when we only have one temple? And while the temple guarantees us Noel, we only get one temple. Right now we get 2. So 16 pool for 20s. That is so worth it. And the fact that I got Xiangling, then Dingguang, just make it much better. I do not have enough weapon on that team though. Everyone is using a Trisa. And the free prototype ring core is on the Traveler. That might change soon, depending on who I get as a 5-star character for the main DPS. I wish it's Jin, but I suppose Diluc and Deya will be better. Even Keqing will be better. Worst come to worst, I get Mizuki. Then I am stuck. I need to go right up to Inazuma to get her material, which is until AR 35. So the worst case, it will be Mizuki. Trying to get a good on-banner character for that team probably going to be difficult because I'm using it for pulls, remember? So that account is to pull characters that my main account won't pull. In other words, that's going to be difficult to build anyway. It's an account to pull on characters that I normally don't build. What do you expect? It's free to play. But I suppose it's a bit more educational account because I'm going to show people around the world anyway. Off the bat. So besides doing a few daily commission and a few exploration, that account is mainly for Q&A and some questions that people want to ask. Please don't judge my gameplay or my build. This team is just there, and I don't even bother to dodge much because I cannot die. Before you ask, I do know how to dodge that attack, I just don't bother. This team is not gonna die from that attack, it's not even a one shot. Honestly, when I play this team, it's like my mind go blank. All you have to do is charge at the enemy and burst skill, attack, burst skill, attack. You can do this blind. It's so simple. That's because you are so tanky and you constantly heal. And just like that, the final weekly boss is over from Fontaine. And we are done with Fontaine. And we're gonna move on to Netland. As per schedule, Netland first part will be out on Saturday and the last part will be out on next week Wednesday. Yeah, I know this video was short and splitting it in half definitely make it even shorter. But I feel like making it too long will be extremely boring, so even for Netland, it's going to split it to 2 anyway. Netland bosses took even longer and I already filmed some of them and the fight was way too long. The Yunkasaurus alone took me about 6 to 7 minutes. So to avoid having too long of a video, I'm going to keep it this way. As usual, if you do like the video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it a ton. And any views that you can give me is also very much appreciated. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Saturday. Thanks for watching guys. Have a good day. Bye!